Betrayal Unveiled. My brother destroyed my life with a $15,000 lie. Thanksgiving at Mom's was always chaotic, but this year felt different. A foreboding chill in the air even before Damon and Lila waltzed in, laden with coolers and casseroles. Damon had that look, a nauseating blend of smugness and superiority, screaming that he was about to unleash some kind of disaster. I was casually stirring the gravy when he fired the first shot. "Hey Dylan," he drawled, just loud enough for Mom, who was meticulously arranging a dinner table nearby, to hear. "So, when are you going to pay me back?" The spoon clattered to a halt against the pot, the entire room seemingly holding its breath, waiting for my response. "Pay you back?" I asked, genuinely puzzled, a knot of unease tightening in my stomach. I had absolutely no idea what he was talking about. "Oh, come on, don't play dumb." Damon's voice rose, laced with a theatrical exaggeration that made my skin crawl. Mom's hand trembled as she set down a wine glass. "Dylan, what is he talking about?" I felt blindsided. "Yeah, Mom, Dylan here borrowed a solid $15,000 from me last year," Damon continued, his voice drooping with false indignation. "Claimed it was for a business investment or some nonsense. Haven't seen a single cent of it since. Isn't that right, bro?" Here's the kicker. I had never borrowed a single penny from Damon. I was completely and utterly bewildered. I struggled to keep my voice steady. "I don't owe you anything." "Oh, really?" He clutched his chest dramatically, as if mortally wounded. "Am I just making it all up? And here I am, out in the cold, all because you can't repay something you conveniently borrowed for so long. How messed up is that, don't you think?" Mom's eyes, wide with alarm and confusion, darted between us. "Are you sure, Dylan? I mean, if there's a misunderstanding, maybe it would be better just to clear it up now." "There's no misunderstanding, Mom," I said firmly, giving her a desperate, pleading look. "Damon's lying. I don't know why, but he is." Damon let out a scoff, laced with bitterness, shaking his head in mock disbelief. "Mom, why would I lie about something like this? What's in it for me?" Her gaze held a heartbreaking mixture of pleading and confusion, which was more agonizing than I could have imagined. Damon just kept smirking, clearly relishing the chaos she was sowing. My younger sister Claire spoke up, her voice soft but laced with concern. "Dylan, if there's something going on, tell us. We can figure it out." I could feel the frustration building in my chest, but even she was looking at me with a hint of doubt. Damon had already managed to plant a seed of distrust, and it was starting to take root. "Claire, come on," I pleaded. "You know me. You know I wouldn't lie about something like this." She bit her lip, looking away, and I felt the chill of betrayal creep up my spine. Damon was already chipping away at the strongest bond I had in the family. "Look," Damon said, shrugging with infuriating nonchalance, "if you're so innocent, show us your bank statements or something. I mean, if you didn't take the money, there should be no problem, right?" His words were a trap, a no-win situation. How could I prove something that didn't happen? He was counting on the fact that proving a negative is almost impossible. "I don't have to prove anything to you," I shot back, my voice laced with barely suppressed fury. "Fine, whatever you say," Damon said with a theatrical sigh. "Guess we'll just let everyone make up their own minds about who's telling the truth." And with that, he casually strolled off, leaving me standing there in stunned silence, feeling the foundations of my relationships with the people I love crumble around me. Things only got worse after that. At Christmas, Damon was in rare form, his manipulative streak in full bloom. "So, Dylan," he said during dinner, his voice so loud it practically echoed through the house. "You planning to start paying me back soon? Or are you still working on it?" My face burned as all eyes turned to me, Mom's mouth set in a hard, disapproving line. "Damon, give it a rest," I muttered, wishing I could simply vanish into thin air. He just laughed, a cruel, mocking sound. "Hey, if you didn't want people talking, maybe you should have thought twice before taking a loan you couldn't afford to pay back." Uncle Doug clapped me on the back with one of those pitying looks that felt like a punch to the gut. I felt the disappointment radiating from him like heat. It was killing me, slowly but surely. Damon's lies were seeping into every corner of my life, poisoning my relationships and twisting perceptions. By New Year's, I knew I had to do something. Damon wasn't going to stop on his own, so I needed a plan, a strategy to expose the truth and reclaim my life. One evening, after a particularly brutal round of joking from Damon and yet another family gathering, I caught him alone in the garage. I closed the door quietly, the click sounding like a death knell. "What's up, Dylan? Here to give me a piece of your mind?" he sneered. "No, actually," I said, keeping my voice deceptively calm. "I'm here to make you a deal." "A deal?" He raised an eyebrow, a flicker of something unreadable in his eyes. "You want a $15 grand so bad, I'll pay you back. But only if you can prove you actually loaned it to me." His expression shifted for just a split second, a flicker of uncertainty betraying the carefully constructed facade. Then, he crossed his arms, attempting to regain his composure. "Oh, I can prove it. Don't you worry," he said, his voice regaining its confident edge. "Really?" I asked, my voice laced with challenge. Then show me the transfer receipt. Show me the date you supposedly wired the money. Show me something. He opened his mouth, but for once, he seemed at a loss for words. Finally, he just shrugged, attempting to play it off. I gave it to you in cash. All right, not everything is digital, Dylan. I almost laughed. Damon had always been sloppy with details, relying on bluster and manipulation to get his way. Let me get this straight. It was last summer, after the barbecue at Uncle Doug's place. I shook my head slowly, my gaze fixed on his face. No, Damon, I don't remember, because it never happened. Whatever. Believe what you want, but I know what happened. Good, I said, stepping closer, my voice hardening. Because now, let's go inside. Damon's face went pale, his bravado visibly crumbling. Are you crazy? I'm not doing anything of the sort. Oh, yes you are, I insisted, my voice leaving no room for argument. Because if you don't, I'll make sure every single person in this family knows exactly what kind of person you are. For a moment, he looked like he was going to fight me, like he was actually considering throwing a punch. He was so shocked and scared to have been caught in his own trap. But in the end, his fear of exposure outweighed his anger. We walked back into the living room, and I took a deep breath, steeling myself for what was about to come. Hey everyone, I said, my voice carrying with an authority I didn't know I possessed. Damon has something he wants to say. Damon shot me a look of pure venom, but he forced a tight, unnatural smile. I just wanted to say that maybe I exaggerated things a bit, you know, about Dylan and the whole money thing. Exaggerated? Mom asked, her voice dangerously soft. He cleared his throat, looking miserable. Yeah, maybe I got some of the details wrong. It wasn't exactly. What was it? Then, my dad asked, his voice cold and hard, a clear warning. Claire asked, crossing her arms. What was it? Damon. Nothing. Damon muttered, refusing to meet anyone's eyes. I wasn't going to let him wriggle out of it that easily. Come on, Damon, I said, keeping my voice steady but loud enough for everyone to hear. You've been so clear and loud about it up until now. Let's hear it. What exactly was it? He shot me a glare that could have melted steel, but he knew he was cornered. He shifted uncomfortably, his gaze bouncing around the room, avoiding everyone's eyes. There was no money, he mumbled, the words barely audible. I made it up. All right. The room fell into a stony silence. The only sound was the faint ticking of the old clock in the living room, counting the seconds as the reality of Damon's admission settled over everyone. Mom broke the silence first, her face a mask of shock and hurt. Why would you do something like that, Damon? Damon looked down at his feet, refusing to answer. Answer how? I demanded, my anger simmering in my chest. You spent months dragging my name through the mud, turning people against me. What did you get out of it? He finally looked up, his face red with anger and shame. You wouldn't understand. Dylan, you've always been the favorite, always the one everyone trusts. I'm sick of it. Every time I try to do something, it's never good enough because I'm not you. It had all been jealousy. Claire spoke. Was it really that big of a deal? Jealousy. Damon's mouth tightened, but he relented. But yeah, it's always been like that. Ever since we were kids, I've always been second to him. No matter what I did, it was never enough. So yeah, I wanted him to feel what it's like to be at the bottom for once. My dad stood up slowly, his face a mask of barely controlled fury. Do you have any idea what you put us all through? Damon became defensive. Whatever. It's not like anyone actually got hurt. Dylan's fine. He's got you all in his corner. Like always, Mom's mouth drew into a tight line. Not anymore, Damon. Damon said, Mom, come on. You don't mean that. Mom's voice was strained as she replied, yes, I do. I've spent months wondering if my own son was capable of lying to me about something so serious. You made me doubt him. Damon, you put that rift between us, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive you for that. The tension in the room was suffocating. Everyone was staring at Damon, their faces a mix of disappointment and anger. Damon looked scared. Look, I'm sorry, okay? I didn't think it would go this far. I thought it would blow over. I didn't mean for it to get so big. Damon, you didn't just make a mistake, I said, unable to hold back any longer. You spent months tearing down my reputation, turning people against me. You took something from me that I can never get back. He looked at me, and for the first time, I saw a glimmer of genuine regret in his eyes. Dylan, it's too late for apologies. Damon, I interrupted, my voice hard. I don't want your apology. I just want you to stay out of my life. The words hung heavy in the air, a final severing of a bond that could never be fully repaired. Mom broke the silence again, her voice soft but firm. Damon, I think it's best if you leave. His face went white, and he looked at her, desperation etched on his features. Mom, please, I'm your son. You can't just kick me out like this. You've hurt this family enough, she replied, her voice unwavering. Maybe some time away will give you a chance to think about what you've done. Damon looked around at each of us, searching for a glimmer of sympathy, someone who would stand up for him. But no one moved, even Claire, who had always been the mediator. With a bitter scoff, Damon turned and stormed out, slamming the door behind him. The silence that followed was thick, heavy with the weight of what had just happened. It was like we were all standing on the edge of something, teetering between relief and sadness. Dad let out a long, weary sigh, running a hand over his face. "I don't know how we got here," he said, his voice filled with a mixture of disbelief and regret. "I don't know how we became a family that could hurt each other like this." Claire said softly, "I don't think it was us, Dad. I think it was Damon. He made his choice and we can't fix that for him." Looking at me for a long time, Mom put a hand on my shoulder, her eyes brimming with tears. "Dylan, I'm so sorry. I should have believed you from the start. I shouldn't have let him do this to you." I reached out and squeezed her hand, offering her some comfort. "It's okay. I know it was hard." He was convincing. "That's what made it so painful." She replied, "Still, I should have known. You're my son. I should have trusted you." I tried to smile, but it felt heavy, bittersweet. What's done is done. We can't change it now. In the weeks that followed, Damon didn't reach out and none of us tried to contact him. The family gatherings continued, but there was a gap now, a silent space where Damon used to be. One night, a few months later, I got a text from him. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity got the better of me. The text read, "I know I messed up. Dylan, I'm not asking for forgiveness. Just wanted you to know that I'm sorry. I'll leave you alone." A strange mix of anger and sadness twisted in my gut. Part of me wanted to lash out, to demand answers, but another part of me was just tired, bone tired of carrying that anger, of letting his actions take up space in my mind. In the end, I didn't respond. I let the text sit there, unanswered. Life went on. The family slowly started to heal, leaving behind scars that would never fully fade, but also forging stronger bonds based on renewed trust and understanding. My relationships with my parents and with Claire deepened, enriched by the shared experience of overcoming Damon's betrayal. Damon, on the other hand, seemed to fade away. He moved to another city, got a new job. Occasionally, I'd hear about him reaching out to family members, trying to make amends in small ways, sending birthday cards or holiday greetings. But for the most part, he stayed out of our lives, respecting the boundary we had drawn. It wasn't the ending I had wanted. I hadn't set out to lose a brother, but sometimes life doesn't give you the ending you want. It gives you the ending you need, the one that lets you move on, even if the pieces can never be fully put back together. In the end, I found peace, not because I forgave Damon. I didn't need an apology, and I didn't need him to make things right. I just needed to live my life, to focus on the people who stood by me, who believed in me, and to finally be free to live a life that was mine and mine alone. The scars remain, but they were just scars, reminders of a lesson learned. A constant companion with him I'll never forget. My brother told everyone I owed him $15,000, ruining my reputation. "I deserve it," he said. I let him think he'd won until I revealed the truth that left him speechless. So, Reddit, after hearing everything, do you think I handled the situation correctly? I'm still grappling with the fallout, and I'm curious to hear your perspectives. Was revealing the truth the best course of action? Or should I have handled it differently? Your honest feedback would be incredibly valuable. I appreciate hearing what you guys think.